As with many other topics in chemistry, today I have a chemical whose name likely doesn't say much to anyone. After all, who's ever heard of cyanoacrylate? Well, little do you know, you probably have some sitting around in your back drawer waiting for a convenient application. Tell me, does the name superglue ring a bell? That's what I thought. Now let's take a trip back in time. The year is 1942. The world is at war and America is right at the center of it. Scrambling to find a tactical edge over their enemies, a commission led by Dr. Harry Coover does research in an attempt to find a suitable material with which to manufacture clear gun sights. In the haze, they mistakenly discover a compound called cyanoacrylate, a viscous material which stuck unyieldingly to everything it came into contact with. In the meantime, Coover and his team jotted down as a failure towards their immediate objective. But into the 1950s, Coover and the Eastman Kodak company for which he worked realized the profitability of such an adhesive of the one that he'd unwittingly invented, putting a glue called Eastman 910, the first cyanoacrylate adhesive of its kind, on the market. This would spark the unstoppable blaze that would eventually become the superglue industry, giving way to a product that would become an essential tool to craftsmen, medical staff, and generally anyone who's ever owned something that could break. Everyone knows what superglue is and what it's used for. Everyone. You usually buy it in small quantities like those squeeze bottles you get at the store. Then when something's broken, you apply the superglue and within seconds you have an impressively strong bond made, effectively holding the broken object together temporarily if not fixing it permanently. And to reiterate, it's used by everyone for everything. From little Tommy putting together his model airplane to industrial woodworkers and carpenters manufacturing their wares, and even to medical practitioners sealing open wounds. It holds its own over other, cheaper, less adhesive glues such as water-based glues because of the unparalleled instantaneousness and effectiveness of the results. But what is the chemical reason for these physical properties? What properties within a molecule of cyanoacrylates causes this to occur? Let's find out. Cyanoacrylate molecules as a whole are an example of what's called a polymer. A polymer is a molecule made up of smaller monomeric molecules in a complex molecular structure. Through a reaction process called chain growth polymerization, these polymers will bond together into lengthy solid chains, forming very strong molecular bonds among one another. For cyanoacrylate molecules, this occurs upon contact with water. Therefore, when superglues are exposed to the moisture in the air, they harden quickly as these polymeric reactions take place in an instant, and these bonds are created. It is for this reason that superglues are generally sold in such small quantities, and with very short shelf lives. They can often be activated by accident, simply by opening them, so it could be potentially very wasteful to sell them in larger quantities. Apart from this, the science regarding cyanoacrylates is still not entirely conclusive. It is still not known entirely why these polymers work out to be such an effective glue. They do not operate like other solvent glues which react internally to create covalent molecular bonds that draw it all together. The bonds created in cyanoacrylate glues are much more externally focused, which causes the glue to work best in smaller layers. This is believed to be as a result of weak intermolecular forces acting to the benefit of the cyanoacrylates electromagnetically and solidifying their bonds. And in a nutshell, this is how cyanoacrylate adhesives work on the molecular level, and the reason as to why they are such an effective form of glue as compared to other types of glues.